Hello, welcome to all of you. Today, we are going to learn about a very important topic about a short story. Before going to discuss the elements of short story, I am going to introduce myself. Myself, Mahesh S. Holkar from KKWAG Arts, Commerce, Science and Computer Science College, Kakasaheb Nagar. Friends, today we are going to discuss about the elements of short story. Short story is a very important part in the part of literary elements. Short story has 5 key elements that make up a short story. These are characters, setting, conflict, theme, and plot. These are all the elements. One by one we are going to discuss. The firstly, we are going to learn about. Now, the character is very important in any literary work. Without characters, nobody is able to express his or her words. Characters are very important for a drama, for a story, or even for any kind of literary genres. Simply, a character is a person or sometimes an animal who takes part in the action of a short story or other literary works. For example, the story like an animal farms. All in it, all are animal characters. So the character is maybe the person, maybe the animal, or even maybe the non-human things also. Characters and how we get to know them. So we know to them about through the author's physical descriptions of them. Means here the author expresses how a particular person is looking like, his behavior, his height, his physical appearance. We can all thing realize with the help of writers' descriptions. Through their actions, whatever they perform in the story, so with the help of their actions, we realize the nature of the characters. For example, in the cup of tea, Rosemary trying to show her good natures to Miss Smith, but when she communicated with her husband, she said that she picked up Rosemary from the street. So here, with the help of her action, with the help of her word, we realized her actual nature. So, through their words, whatever the characters speak, we understand their natures. So, we realize the nature, we realize the characters of Shakespeare through their words, what words they used in their works. We also realize the characters through their inner thoughts. Whatever they feel inside they expresses these all the thoughts with the audience in the part of soliloquy or even with the communication to each other. So with the help of inner thoughts, we are also able to understand the characters. Even the characters, we also realize what other characters say and think about them. For example, same one is that in The Merchant of Venice, we understand the character of Shylock with the help of what his daughter Jessica says about himself. So in the next part, we are going to learn setting. Setting is very important in a story as well as in any literary genre. Setting says to us exactly what type of literary work is this. Is it a psychological? Is it a horror? Is it a historical, or even is it an autobiographical one? So an animal farm settings say to us about its story. So it means that setting is the time and place that a story occurs. Author often use descriptions of landscape, scenery, building, seasons, or weather to provide a strong sense of settings. The next one is that theme. The theme is a different one is that. Theme it means exactly what the author trying to share, what message he trying to share with the people or with the readers. Author or the writer is not going to express the theme always, but the reader can understand the theme with the help of their reading, with the help of their understandings. Sometimes one particular story has a present the different types of themes. So the theme is the meaning behind events and characters, action in a story. The theme is the central idea, message or purpose in a short story. A theme can be expressed as a general statement about life or people. It is not a plot summary. It can be either directly or indirectly stated by the author, most likely indirectly. It means author is not going to express the theme of the work. For example, Henry Gibson's Doll's House. Henry Gibson is not going to say that what is exact theme of his work. People realize the different themes from his work. The next is a conflict. Conflict is any of the problem that a character encounters in the story. The conflict is a struggle between the two people or things in a short story. The conflict, it means there is a struggle between the two peoples, maybe the between hero and villain, maybe the between hero and heroine, maybe the between hero and the society. So when the story reached at the point of conflict, it means reached at the point of problems, that part is known as the conflict. Conflict has the two different points. The one is the internal conflict and the external conflict. External conflict, it means the problems between or the conflict between other characters, and internal conflict between the conflict between themselves. It means with himself. For example, Hamlet's conflict, to be or not to be, it is an internal conflict. So the main characters may be struggle against other important characters. It is an external conflict. Against the forces of nature, it is also an external conflict. Against the society, it is also an external conflict. So this part is very important for the part of conflict. The next one is a plot. Plot is a pattern of events that develop from the interaction between characters. Plot is a series of events and characters, actions that relate to the central conflict. There are 5 elements of plot: exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and conclusions. Plot diagram. Please, with the help of this diagram, we are going to learn about the plot. Here is a plot diagram. First one is that the introductions, then the second one is rising action, then the climax, then falling action, and then resolutions, means the ending of the story. The next one is that the exposition. So what is an exposition? It is also known as the introduction of the short story. So the start or introduction of the story, even the background information that the reader must have in order to understand the story. This is where character and setting are introduced. So the first initial information is mentioned into the expositions. Then the second one is that the rising actions. All of the events that takes place leading up to the climax. This is where the reader is understood to the conflict. Means the story started in the beginning. We are going to learn about introductory part of all characters. Then the second one is the rising actions. Means the story is going to start up and the story is going to reach near the conflict. The third one is called a climax. Climax, it means the most existing part of the story, the turning point in the story. Here, the story is a turn in a different direction towards the conclusions. Means, with the help of climax, the readers are going to understand exactly what is happened and what will happen next to the story. So it is called a climax. The next one is the falling action. The immediate reaction to the climax. All the actions that occur up to the climax and before the conclusion of the story. It means after the climax, reader realize exactly what is good, who is good, what the particular character is trying to say, what the message the author is trying to say, or what the message the character is trying to say. So these all clear-cut pictures is also understand in the section of falling actions. It is going near to the conclusion of the story. The last but not the least, that is known as a resolution, resolutions. Now, the resolution, it means the conclusion of the plot. Loose ends are tied up. There might not be a clear resolution. This is called cliffhanger ending. Thank you all of you. It's my short way and a short try to explain you about the elements of a short story. Into the next video, I'm trying to explain you one by one elements of the short story in details. If you like the video, please subscribe it and share it. Thank you very much.